Hey everyone, hope y'all are doing well today. And hey, we are one step closer to the weekend, and I thought I'd get a quick video out. Uh, the video is about baseball cards, even though you see two football helmets. I've been just bringing some stuff home from the office and thought I would just use these in the video tonight. Yeah, I mean, everybody remembers the old Houston Oilers. I think one of the better uniforms that was ever around. And of course, the Bengals. I live here near Cincinnati now, and how do you not love that helmet? I think it's one of the best helmets in the league. Obviously, I think it's always been even before I lived nearby. So before I start showing some baseball cards, I'm gonna show a couple of old vintage cards here, but wanted to talk about, Shohei Ohtani was given the MVP yet again, obviously deservingly, and so was Ronald Acuna Jr. My mind is still trying to wrap around why baseball didn't give Spencer Strider the Cy Young. And I know that ERA and WHIP favor, the guys who won it. But when you win 20 games a year, you strike out 281 batters. That's just fairly amazing. Blake Snell and Garrett Cole both had the best ERAs in the league, and I think they had the best whips. Looks like Garrett Cole had the best whip, and somewhere down there is Blake Snell. But man, that's just a lot of strikeouts this year for Spencer Strider, and Blake and Garrett both had a lot. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of how Nolan Ryan never won a Cy Young, and maybe that's why strikeouts and wins and quality starts are something I look at. But all right, let's get started on some baseball cards. 2 minutes into this thing. I think I told you guys I like cards that are a little bit odd, and I also like cards that allow me to talk to my dad about baseball. So sticking with the theme of Houston, the Houston Astros, before they were the Astros, they used to be called in the early 60s the Colt 45s. And they went through a transition period, and one of the reasons I like this card is because it shows part of that transition period. So here is a card of Rusty Staub, and you can tell his hat does not look right. And the reason it doesn't look right is he's actually in a Houston Colt 45s uniform, and they're changing their name to the Astros. And there's this year and I think the next year after, where some of the pictures just aren't quite right. So 1965 tops Rusty Staub, just got this in the mail this week. And really got it, a super good deal in my opinion. I don't remember how much it was, but it was under $10. Looks really good. My dad remembers Rusty Staub playing. He actually had quite a long career. He is not a Hall of Famer. But one of the reasons I love it is that if you know the teams, you know that he's actually not in a Houston Astros uniform. And I just really like that. So yeah, Rusty Staub. All right. Next up is the 1960 MVP for the National League. And if you are a fan of the Pirates, you probably know right away who it is. I don't know the correct pronunciation for his last name, so I will say Dick Groat. So interestingly enough, this is the year the Pirates, I believe, won the World Series in Game 7, the famous walk-off home run. But Bill Mazeroski was the MVP for that World Series, I believe. But it was actually Dick who was the MVP for the league that year. And I like collecting cards like this where I'll probably collect Shohei and a Acuna card from this year, just because they won the MVP that year, and I think that's kind of cool to have cards of years they won. I'd still like to get a 1960 Mazeroski card, and maybe that's in the future. But yeah, I mean, card looks super good as well. Nice and overall clean. It's not perfect, but if it was perfect, I probably wouldn't trust it as much. All right, so I won't put him too close to the Cincinnati stuff because I don't want him to burn down my house later. One of my favorite players, and Greg actually showed this card recently, and I thought, man, I don't have this card, and so here I am getting it. It is another beautiful card. He looks very young in this picture. This is the 1960 Topps Bob Gibson card. And of course, Bob Gibson would go to, throw over 3,000 strikeouts and have a phenomenal career. I love some of the old cards of his. This is his second year card. And it is in a SGC 6. Yeah, I think these second year cards, sometimes you kind of forget about them, but like I said, I was watching Greg and he talked about second year cards, and that is not a mark on there. What is that? If you don't know, I roast my own coffee beans. And so that is actually a piece. It's called Silverleaf from coffee. And apparently some had fallen on my table, and it hides very well on the table. But it is now a good reminder that I actually need to roast coffee tonight. So after I get done with this video, I'll clean up and roast some good old coffee. So even though he's a Cardinals guy, I'm going to put him close to some Cincinnati stuff and put this up. So those are the cards I have tonight. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Things are getting ready to get busy. I am going to roast some coffee. And so I guess I better put these cards up and do that. If you're wondering what I'm roasting, I doubt there's a lot of coffee roasters as well out here, but I'll show. So this is a Burundi coffee, and it says it has a caramel sugar sweetness at a light roast. And I've been cooking them or roasting them at darker roast, but get them from Sweet Maria's. If you have thought about roasting your own coffee, I suggest checking them out. Dark roast on this one is really good. I would not say maybe hints of dark chocolate. I wouldn't say milky dark chocolate. And I'd probably say a little bit citrusy in my opinion. So I don't know about that grape hint, but very good coffee. So I'm a fan of the African coffees, and yeah. So just in case you were wondering, I wasn't planning on talking about coffee, but here we are. I can talk about coffee too. All right, guys. Hey, I hope you all have a good one. And if I don't get anything out between now and Thanksgiving, I hope you all have a Merry Thanksgiving. See ya. Bye.